All right. Another game in SSL with live commentary. I find commentary in the game is helpful both to give feedback to uh, your opponent in case they decide to go back and watch it, and also to solidify the kind of thinking process that's useful for other players. So what I'm looking at on both sides of the ball, what I'm trying to accomplish from an identity standpoint. All right. I think Brian is pretty new to the league, so I don't really have any. Been watching any film on him. That said, my offense have been watching primarily 11 personnel, some 12 personnel, and we like to establish a inside-outside zone run game, a little bit of play action off of that, and some base passing concepts. Okay, so using base offensive personnel, so I'll respond with base defense. And the alignment here is pretty good, so I'm not going to touch anything. Okay. This little flood play off of play action. I'm always surprised at how poorly they cover two-man routes with two defenders. It's almost mind-boggling. A lot of it has to do with pre-snap alignment. Oh god, I pressed the wrong button. The guy literally fell down at the snap. Not sure what causes that, but it happens every once in a while. So I'm just gonna have to take away the run, but I'm also got to be worried about a little high-low in the flats so far. So just continue running our base defensive looks and make sure we don't give them any great looks. I think that was a block shed, and then defender also shot the gap. 2nd and 13. Big opportunity for us. I don't know his tendencies, so I don't know if he's the type of player that would run the ball here and try to get some yards back. Most people would try to pass here and try to get a chunk of at least 5 yards. Still in base offensive personnel. Wide open. And roasts roasts my entire defense. He's on a comeback route, and comebacks beat zone basically every time in the game. Unfortunately, they just beat it very, very badly. The guy that has no route running, I think his mid route running is like 73 or something. I don't think it really matters. It's the classic Madden situation where route beats zone or route beats man, and the ratings don't really come into play. The corner that he threw it to the side of has a very high zone rating, at least 10 to 15 points higher than the route running rating, and he got absolutely obliterated. So, one of the many examples of things in the game that we just do not have control over. What are you going to do? That kind of separation, if Larry Fitzgerald was getting that kind of separation, I'd be okay with that. I just hate that it's guys that have no route running. Okay. A nice little bubble to run into on that play. So a lot of times I'll call outside zone, come out in and just kind of look at the defense and see where I think the best run bubble is, and try to go to a run audible. I'm hoping it doesn't show up this game, but some games my offensive playbook seems to, I don't know if I added a formation that's glitched or something, but whenever I try to audible, you have guys like randomly doing things that shouldn't be doing. Okay, yeah, that's time there. Trying to make some checks. Let's do this. And we'll spread look. Still run the ball out of this, of course, if the box looks light enough. His defensive line only really has one good player on it, and it's the guy with the star under him. It's God, what's his name? Played for the Patriots for a long time. That was a pretty favorable front to run against because he was in a wide alignment. And let's see if we can follow that up with something. We've been running the ball a lot. Follow it up with play action.
Alright, here we go. 3-19!
It was almost user picked. Should not have been possible to user pick it, but it almost was. He just didn't get the animation. There's plenty of space to be able to throw that, but the trajectory and the ball is just so bad.
Alright, here we go. Blue landing!
Just taking what's there. The line's strange through here.
Leopard!
This could be okay. Let's try this. I think. Is Odell on that? No, he's not. Let's try this instead. Alright. Pretty good spacing play. There's not a ton of them in the game. You know it's coming. It's very easy to stop, but it's good to mix in. And I like the run bubble to the inside here. Yeah. Just took too long to develop. Safety came screaming in. Gotta go back to that unbalanced 12 personnel. Using cover 1 there. Yeah, let's see if we think. I don't think he's in that again. I think this is a 0 blitz, but it's hard to tell. That said, I mean, still got pretty good numbers to run inside. He's got so many guys outside. You gotta break a tackle and you gotta hold a block. But yeah, that was actually a good play call. I don't know why his alignment was so bad. The play he called shouldn't have aligned the way that it did. It aligned with just leaving the interior wide open. This one is terrible. I'm going to let him shift to give him a second to shift. And he's not shifting. That is absolutely horrible. That guy ran all the way from the other side of the formation and managed to make it all the way across from outside of the opposite tight end all the way across to cut off a stretch. That cannot happen. And no one off of the double looked to pick him up because he's not actually on that side of the field in the defense. So he's basically an ignored defender at that point. Perfect example of the little things that are not only obviously wrong, but crop up over and over and over and over in this game. Using a defender outside of their responsibility. I'm not necessarily putting that on the player so much as like blockers have obviously got to have some recognition of a player coming across the field. I get that the play wasn't designed for him to do that, but just because the CPU would never do that doesn't mean the blocker should have no awareness of people flying across from the opposite side of the field. They obviously need to be able to. Otherwise, you're, as the person who's developing this game, you're saying, we don't want anyone to ever use anyone, ever. Because if you do, we can't account for anything you do in your movements. That is a horrible angle. Oh my god. That's so bad. The angle of the flat defender, I don't know if you noticed, I was using linebacker. The flat defender literally had no one else to guard, and just by slowly creeping across the field to follow that route all the way across, I was more over top of him than the flat was. That flat was sitting there hanging around doing nothing for no reason. Why? No idea. He has a good zone rating. Makes no sense. It's the most obvious play in the world. And those are the things where you want to have answers. If you're going to have answers, you need to know how to activate those answers. And so far, those kind of plays, there's no reason why that should be working. I'm actually gonna start controlling this defender just so I can get some semblance of correct play that's not going to give up a free touchdown 7 times this game, because that looks like what's going to happen. It may just be one of the typical pregame dice rolls where the guys in zones and the flats are just always going to drift no matter what happens offensively, and that can't happen. That's just giving up free plays. So we do run some cover 1 in our defensive scheme since we run so much cover 3. I don't love it against compressed looks, so I'm checking out of that. We got a block shed on that one. If we didn't get the block shed, that might have actually been a big run. I'm not sure why, because we actually had the gaps all pretty well accounted for. Looked like the safety wasn't doing anything, just kind of sitting back, doing absolutely nothing to come up in the run fit. 3rd and 6. Be nice to knock him out of field goal range, but most important thing is to not let him convert, obviously. I'm assuming he'll come out in something with 3 wide receivers, but who knows. Nope. Okay, so he's pretty dedicated to his base offensive personnel. And we're going to have to find some answers for that. So we're going to run match here. Maybe that'll give us a better chance.
Watch him now, Barney!
Yeah. Jeez. Had I not used that, that was definitely a free first down. Oh, jeez. The kicking game rears its ugly head. That's a freebie for us. And we will take it. It's even worse when you're streaming. Cannot tell you how many kicks I've missed whenever I stream. It's crazy. I think I miss on average a solid 20 to 30% of my field goals. Okay, so this is a look to where I don't really feel like I have much of an advantage anywhere. think he's going to be in cover 4. Good. It's cover 2, so looks like he's going to be alternating between cover 2 and cover 4. But either way, both of them you can work the middle of the field in a similar fashion. Not the deep middle, but the underneath stuff. I like the run bubbles here. Solid run. I shouldn't say solid run, that was a great run. It's greedy to call that a solid run. Anything over 3 yards is a good run. The animations on those routes are just so awkward. Just want to be able to throw a normal route to the flats. There's all those extra false steps and just nonsense. Okay.
Leopard! Detroit!
Yeah, I threw that ball, and he just didn't get rid of it. That is very annoying. And also got instant pressure, so that doesn't help. And let's see. Just try to get some yards back here. Either break a tackle or just give us better field position. Or just throw the ball to Odell and have him make a ridiculous play. That works too. Really not sure why that worked against the defense he called. I mean, other than just having a little bit of a... I just saw that it was one-on-one. Figured I'd give it a shot. But that should have been much better. Much better guarded than it was, given the defensive play call. I'm going to go with the comeback on the outside here. Oh, why? Please catch that. That check ran way deeper. If you notice, I ran verticals dig. Look at the check, where the check runs to on the play art compared to slant 2 buck. Slant 2 buck runs way farther, right? But on that play, I haven't really repped that play much in practice, but he ran that check to like 8 yards or something and just completely destroyed the spacing that was supposed to be there. I got a little bit of a run bubble here. Now, if you look at the numbers here, in real life you would rely on your center and right guard to chip off and go to the next level. And let's see if they do that here. They probably won't, and the linebacker with the star will probably get free because they don't. We'll see though. They actually did. That's very rare in this game. Still didn't get much, but it's not bad. In field goal range now. Okay. This alignment, there's a possible seamer throw here depending on what that linebacker does. Let's see. He's cheating to the seam. We got this guy. And oh geez, got an injury. That is unfortunate. I'm just gonna go for this because I've been running the ball well. And I don't trust kicking field goals when I'm streaming. Especially when I'm streaming at a little bit of a higher quality, because people were complaining last time about the potato quality stream. I don't blame you. I was on 360 before, because I like to be able to kick field goals and such. That is horrible. So 61... The only reason that guy was able to hit me there is because 61 hit him and then released him and went to go block someone in the second level. Why? Was he doing that off a double team? No, he was not. He was inside leverage on the defensive tackle, hit him, and went to the second level. That makes no freaking sense. Nobody in the NFL would ever do that. Could they get beat? Absolutely. But would they intentionally chip off of him and go to the next level? Obviously not. There would be no reason to do that. That's a good throw. A good throw and bad flat defender who was guarding no one. He's actually standing right between two guys. I keep forgetting that I need to probably just play the flat defender every down based on how they've been playing this game. So do that here. Play with Jaleel. Got lucky there. Curry winded all the way from the backside of the run strength to catch the running back, which happens way too often in Madden. Their ability to slant all the way through the formation from underneath and catch you from behind, it's crazy. Happens all the time. Okay, I'm going to use her the... Alright. Got an opportunity here. Still in base. Take this. Yeah, and that's just disgusting that I can do that. It's disgusting. That said, I need to be able to know that they came out in a play that's empty like that. He's in base personnel. It's 3rd and 5. There's no indication at all of that. Now, if he were to shift to that or whatever, I get that he could shift to it from. I'm not saying it's on the player. It's on Madden. Like if a team takes the field and they're obviously passing, you need to know when they're in those clear passing alignments off the snap. But there's just no time to react to it. There's also some formations in the game that incorrectly report personnel as well, and that makes it even worse. I'm just going to continue trying to attack the interior run bubbles until he starts. The reason I'm not running any outside is because I'm not seeing him do anything that indicates that outside would be available to run. So we're attacking inside so we can run outside eventually. Eventually he'll do some things to try to take away, so here I'd be less comfortable. Inside. Jeez. Instant pressure again. I don't know why my right tackle's getting whipped so bad. It's every time he runs that cover one, my right tackle just gets obliterated. It's strange. I don't think it's anything he's doing, it's just randomness. He runs quite a bit of cover 4 and cover 2, so smash is always a good option. Not bad. And let's see. There's a seam shot off this play action that we could take if he ends up being in cover 2 here. He's been running this cover 2 with a nickel blitz, which really exposes the deep middle. And this bends back enough to the inside that we could potentially run this. if it ends up being cover 2. So if not, we got other options. It's not. We got this guy. I think I actually lost yards off of that broken tackle animation. C'est la vie. A trap play that I think will work well against some of the fronts he's been running. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, I don't like it. Not bad. Take that run.
Check! Patriot! Patriot!
Alright, and run the ball inside wins the day on that drive. So I'll be interested to see what his answer is. So, what are the answers to someone running the ball inside? Well, you can add a guy to the box, obviously. Show blitz, put a strong safety in the box. You can try blitzing the gaps that are being attacked. I mean, I'm pretty much only running A and B gap runs at the moment, so you blitz a linebacker over top of it and fill with a safety over the top, running buzz or something like that. Could adjust to a front that does a better job of taking away the gaps that are being attacked, which I think he might have been trying to do that at one point.
Leopard! Over!
We will give up the flat. Only has 38 seconds. 2 timeouts. Can have the flat. I'm going to stay in nickel. Situationally, that makes sense. I'm going to go cover 3, match. And hope that nobody goes stupid. Shift to run strength. Break the tackles. That David Johnson on a Bengal route? Yeah. That's breath. Not sure why he was so open on that, considering that backer had no one else to look at. Again, shift to run strength. This guy likes to run the ball. Even though situationally it's not likely, it's still... Man, those flats are just getting abused. So I think the flat the route that he's running is like the best flat route in the game. They don't cover it well at all. That said, the combination of that route and the deep corner, for some reason in match, they don't get out and attack it at all. It's very strange. I think maybe if you move people around, you'd have a better chance at it, but nothing basic you can do that's... What? Okay. Oh, Madden. Oh, Madden. That is horrible. That is absolutely horrible. That guy was just running a fade. That wasn't a hot route or anything. Just ran a normal, regular old fade. And got open by about 7 yards. On a guy who was not pressing him and was off. No moves involved, no double moves. Again, a guy with terrible route running. On a defender with much higher coverage ratings. This stuff can't happen. It cannot happen. I'm not lobbying for the game to be completely devoid of any randomness, but the ratings have to matter. That play cannot happen. Not to mention the safety just floated around, and when he saw that the other guy got beat, barely even attempted to float in the direction of giving help.
Here we go. Detroit. 319.
Which is obviously another serious issue. Oh, out of bounds. Sorry. So bad. Oh, and we can't get a favorable dice roll. We needed that. Needed that. That would have been huge. Field goal range. So 2 touchdowns on busted plays. I've been moving the ball pretty consistently. I have 10 points. He has not really been moving the ball consistently, but he did get 2 busted plays. And that is the difference in the game so far. Both of them plays that absolutely should not have been able to happen. But what do you do? At the end of the day, we're playing Madden. And it would be nice if there wasn't instant pressure there, forcing me to do all kinds of goofy things in the pocket. Meanwhile, my pass rush has been completely non-existent on passing downs. Unfortunately, I feel like at this point, post-patch, the state of the game is if you want any pass rush, you have to go aggressive. If you don't go aggressive, it's as if they're interpreting that as you saying, you know what? You don't really care to put pressure on the quarterback. You'd like to just sit back, relax, treat him to a nice spa day in the pocket. Don't interfere on the man's privacy. And not what I'm looking to do. For obvious reasons. What? Please tell me my 96 carry running back didn't actually fumble there with no one hitting him. Please tell me that didn't just happen. That is what happened. Wow. Well, in the replay that I saw, it certainly looked like that was a fumble. Wouldn't surprise me. I already have, with a 96 carry running back, I already have, 7 fumbles this year with him? More than one game with multiple fumbles that lost me the game.
Watch it now, Barney.
Instant, and that's actually incredibly embarrassing. The way that defensive tackle made the play, he hit my center with a spin move. In the run game, Madden, if you're watching this, anyone involved with coding this game, he hit a spin move back to the inside, away from the direction that the play was going, and managed to spin all the way through and back around to make a play on the ball. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. Alright, we got nothing here. Nothing. Cover 4 is just locking up all those routes. Nothing more frustrating than seeing those kind of garbage animations. It's just laughable. That defensive tackle, in real life, I promise you, what he's trying to do in the run game never involves him spinning back around to the opposite side of where the run went, turning his back to the center, spinning all the way around him and back around to the opposite side of the formation to try to tackle the running back. I promise you that's never in any defensive tackle's mind at any level of football. A lot of things might be going through their mind. That is not one of them. That's a draw. That works for some reason. No good reason. We'll cover one here. Would not be surprised with the way the game is playing so far if these receivers just smoke my guys off the line.
Watch it now, Barney. Barney.
Let's watch for that. Just the diving tackle. Magical. Okay, there's the nickel. What's my zone buzz? Shoot. Just my cloud. Why is the safety not doing anything there? Why? Why is this coverage so bad that crossing routes are unguarded? The safety had no one threatening him. He was not looking for work at all. The only guy that was anywhere remotely near him. Why do I have to use her everything? So bad. This is not a unique situation. I mean, that happens it happens on repeat in this game, and it's embarrassing. To anyone that knows what they're supposed to be looking for, it's embarrassing. That was a good read on his part. And a good throw. And the receiver actually ran a decent curl option, but I was playing aggressive zone there, and unfortunately, that's basically the only time that even really works. It would have worked out for him. Most of the time, the flat defender can give you a couple of false reads, and you can't even read that option curl. It's disgusting. Most of the time, you're better off just running a regular old curl, seeing you have decent spacing. Okay. I guess maybe we should actually go to aggressive here for once, because we've literally had no pressure at all passing game. Not once. So let's see if we can generate something. There's a hole here between these safeties where if you don't user it, it's open every time. Just FYI. Yeah. So that post that he ran, you would think, based on that route combination, the safety would pick him up, right? Nope. You're wrong. If the linebacker hadn't picked him up, he'd be running wide open through that space. Because the quarter safety on the other side of the field does not actually play quarter. He just floats and doesn't do anything. It's horrible. Okay, I think I'm going to go back to 12 personnel because I was getting better run looks out of that. We'll see. I think this is cover one. Oh man, he almost chewed inside of all three, which would have been horrible. Yeah, that was cover one. Let's give him that look again. Okay.
Alright now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Whole lot of space on that side of the field. Sub in the running back here. But On a tired back carrying the ball and fumbling. I don't really know what the formula is for how quickly their carry rating degrades, but I'm sure it's not great.
Lucky 56. Watch it now, Barney.
Not bad. Not bad run. Didn't have the audibles that I wanted there. Jeez. Freaking kidding me. They switched perfectly on both sides of the field. Oh, God. When I say perfectly, I don't necessarily mean like realistically perfectly. I mean, they switched in such a way that a guy who should have had should have been open wasn't. Not in a Madden open sense. If I'd have thrown it, it probably would have been picked. All right, I'm willing to gamble here and take a little bit of a blitz opportunity. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes. Dang. So close. Okay, and we'll give the same front, but I'll actually blitz him here. The alignment's very different, so he probably knows that. I don't really know that there was a bubble to trap there, but whatever. Alright. Oh, I just realized I'm still on aggressive pass rush, which I probably need to be on this next play.
Watch it now, Barney.
Ooh. Oh, what a play. It's weird that I have to like almost activate the flat defenders by shading them. Every play where I haven't shaded and he's thrown to the flats, my flat defenders have just gone dumb and guarded nothing. Make sure to take this off.
Leopard.
A little delay route there, I think. And again, there's just no pressure. Like my pass rush, I have top 3 pass rush defensive line, and unless I'm on aggressive, there is no pressure. That he had at least 4.5, if not 5 seconds there to read everything that was happening on the field. Whew. She played that one pretty well. Still broke the tackle, but Desmond King played his responsibility well. good. It's good read. Good use of the spot route. So this guy definitely has some clear identity elements in his offense, and does a good job of using them. So kudos to you, Brian. I almost feel bad for getting those interceptions because realistically, the spacing there, he should have been able to throw that. On the other hand, the safety should have been freaking hammering and engaging. Why isn't that happening? We'll call it a wash. So 2nd and 3. Run the... Ah! Pick the wrong thing! Do this, I guess. Ooh, that's a wrong running back out there. Forgot to have him subbed into that formation. I wish you could do just a one-time sub and then not have to worry about looking for that the next time. But that's a way to do that. I haven't even experimented with auto subs for fatigue yet this year. Most years they just don't work. Okay. Let's do this. Work something. Williams on that side. Up in the slot. Oh yeah, Keenan's out for the game. I forgot about that. This is 5-man box. Should be easy first down, right? Oh my god. How? How are those animations so bad? Oh, I don't even know if I can kick this. Whew. I think I got a perfect kick there. Some gnarly wind. I think it's only 6 miles an hour. I do not like how this kick return is sitting at all. Most kick return touchdowns happen when the wind is against you. If you've noticed that, that is definitely the case. Just gives them the perfect timing to set up, get blocks set up for them. JJ Nelson has 150 yards on 5 catches, and he's a terrible receiver. The guy is like a marginal slot receiver that just happens to be fast. And all game he's been smoking me on things that should require route running. That route obviously should not, but the ones he's been doing his work on have all been route running oriented routes. Crazy. Ooh. Man, Perriman is having a great game. That's huge. First sack of the game. Amazing. That is amazing.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
He's run that concept out of a couple different formations. It's works pretty well for him. But I don't know that looking for a drag in that situation's all that smart, given you're giving it to a player who's not likely to even break a tackle. Tight end. I don't think the Cardinals really have any dynamic tight ends either. So there's also that. Okay. Oh, okay, Madden. Thank you, Madden, for breaking a tackle in such a way that it guarantees a 3-yard loss. That's fantastic. Ugh, it's disgusting. All right. A simple play to the flats to get a couple yards turns into him turning around and losing yards. It's just beautiful. Oh, that's a terrible throw. Jeez. That guy came from very, very, very far off the line, so I assumed he wasn't going to come all the way to the flats, but boy, was I wrong. When they decide they're going into launch speed, there is no limit to the ground they can cover. It's like the in-game equivalent of like 130 speed or 150 speed. It's crazy. I was just trying to hit the wheel right out of the brake because of how much space he was leaving open there. So, yeah, definitely not a play that guy should be able to make. Especially not from where he came from. But what you can do? I should know better. One good pick six deserves another, as the old saying goes. Okay. Why do I have so much time? Like, come on, that's absurd. That's an absurd amount of time. I'm only blocking 5. He's bringing 4, and I could have sat there for at least another. I mean, a drag came all the way across the field, literally from the outside receiver, and made it all the way to the other side with not even an ounce of pressure. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Pass rush is something we need to be worried about. You turn Madden into a game with no pass rush, it just becomes this ugly thing that doesn't look like football at all because you have an hour to throw things. The game does not. There's a bunch of routes in the game, especially in zone, to where once a certain amount of time has passed and they've crossed the threshold on the field, the game no longer handles the routes effectively at all. And terrible. My tight end got caught on the defensive end. Horrible. I gotta go for this because I do not think we can kick a field goal from this distance. This could be game over right here. Okay. Now we should get time. I'm gonna get a few yards to get the easier field goal. Alright. And he's gonna start using timeouts. Go into heavier set. And again, on that play, no pass rush. Nothing. Not only no pass rush, but when I took off the scramble, nobody made any move toward the quarterback at all. It's horrible. Horrible. Not football with no pass rush. Looks like he's not going to use a timeout here. Oh, he is. Okay. You may be thinking that I still want to punch it in, which I would like to, obviously. I may cut the stream right before I kick the field goal here, just because it does cause me to miss a lot of field goals.
No, check, Patriot!
All right. And I can't call a timeout. What just happened? Okay. What the heck? Why is this? This is so dumb. They're giving him a ice the kicker. Makes no sense. I'm just gonna take this penalty. No, I don't understand. This mechanic is horrible. I cannot tell you how many game-winning field goals have been missed this year because of this horrible game mechanic that makes no sense at all. Let me guess. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is so stupid. Most of all the things to add to a football game. I'm so glad that they wasted time putting that feature in the game. It just makes the game so much better. Can't imagine ever wanting to play a football game that doesn't have, oh jeez, bizarre, random effects on the field goal. It just really puts me right in the moment. All right, we escaped with the win. It was a well-played game by the Cardinals. Brian, if you watch this, well done. And I'm sure I'll see you again. Until next time.